All right, guys, hopping on here. We're going to talk for a moment about what it means to be safe within ourselves. And I'm going to share a story I actually have not shared on Facebook before or social media about why it was so hard for me to find safety within myself. And I really want you to reflect within your own journey, your own truth, your own experiences, and take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Okay, so as children, we are so connected. We're so connected. And what I mean by that is we're connected to who we truly are, and we're connected to the spiritual realm. We're connected to divine. And whether we've had capital T trauma or society pressures, or we start to go to school and guys, I taught in a school where, just from my experience alone of teaching, when I would witness a child coming into the classroom, it was like they were full of expression. They were only 3 and 4, so it was their first time ever coming to school. And to see them full of creativity, full of expression, there's not one way to teach 30 different kids, and it broke my heart sometimes. And so just think about that for a moment. When you're a child, you are so connected. You have creativity, you have imagination, you have wonder, you have curiosity, endless possibilities. And along the line, at some time, it was taken from you. It was taken from you. And there's capital T trauma and there's lowercase t trauma. So I'm going to just summarize that really quick before I go into my story here. Many people will say, well, I had good parents. I never lived in poverty. I had everything I ever needed. I didn't have trauma. But they say I didn't have trauma, but I feel disconnected, but I have stress, but I'm living with emotional pain, but I'm really stuck in this pattern and I don't know how to get out of it. I'm not connected. So I want to just give some awareness here is that, yes, there's capital T trauma where you were abused really, really in the horrible senses, and it's left a mark on you. It's left wounds on you. It's something you're probably still navigating through in adulthood, and I send you so much love. And also there's lowercase t trauma where you were maybe not told ever by mom or dad, I love you. Or when they said I loved you, it was at a cost. You had to do something. You had to give away who you were in order to be loved. Maybe a teacher said, hey, you're going to be a failure. You're not going to amount to anything. And so I'm kind of just giving a generalization. That is actually a trauma, and that's a lowercase t trauma. And it's really good to be aware of this, because at some point, if you are feeling not safe within yourself, and if you are carrying emotional inner turmoil, anxiety, depression, stress, feeling stuck, feeling disconnect from your emotions, at some point in your childhood, and guys, it's also the inner teenager, it could be all the way up to early adulthood, something happened to you. Nothing's wrong with you, but something happened to you. And in this journey of life, we are taught to disconnect from ourselves. So for me, I don't want to get too much into my story, but there was trauma, both uppercase and lowercase t trauma in my life. And I learned to disconnect. And as soon as we learn to disconnect from ourselves, we go into survival mode. And so what I want to say to you is just getting by and staying small does not give you love. It gives you survival mode. And so when we've been living in survival mode since childhood, which a lot of us have, it's like that emotional pain gets stuck in our body. It literally gets stuck in our organs and our tissues, in between our joints. It's really incredible. Our bodies are incredible, and our bodies are wanting to help support us to get through this. But it leaves a mark, because if you could not be yourself as a child, and I'm talking about growing up, early adulthood, if you continue to hide and suppress things that happened to you, you couldn't speak up, it wasn't safe to speak up, those emotions are now stored in your body. Okay? And so something I was going to here's like another few minutes. Anyways, it's like I can go on and on and on about this because it's so critical that you release your emotional pain. However, something that I did that I have not shared with social media, I know I share a lot of my story, but this part of my story I have not shared, and I'm sharing it right now. So at a young age of, I think I might have been like in between 10 and 14, and I had witnessed a lot of things, had suppressed a lot of emotions, sexual abuse, all of the things, did not know how to speak up. Also, something that we do is we see maybe a parent or a loved one who is struggling with their own stuff, and we take that on. I definitely did that. It took me years to be aware of that. So be aware where you're also holding someone that you love, their pain, because you can't carry someone else's pain. It doesn't work that way. They are responsible for their own pain. You do not have to carry it. So anyways, I was like 10 to 14. It probably happened for that whole realm of things. And what I loved about my home, something that I loved about my home is that my mom would just welcome people in. We would have huge family gatherings. We would have people over from church. We would have like so much food and community and gathering. It was absolutely beautiful. And I was quiet. I was shy. I was insecure. I was going through puberty as well through this time. And it was like I had suppressed emotions. Guys, I wouldn't cry. It was at one point in my life where people would be like, kids at school would be like, Sarah, you show no emotion. Like, are you just a robot? Because like stone face, a lot of my pictures from when I was younger is just no emotion. Now there was tons of emotions inside of me, but I did not know, because when we're in survival mode, we suppress. When you're in survival mode, you suppress. And the longer that we suppress, the more pain grows. The longer that we suppress, the more emotional pain grows. So I would suppress these emotions. I wouldn't even cry. It was like I wouldn't even feel what was happening to me. The trauma would happen and I wouldn't even feel it, because I became so numb just to survive, just to get through. Okay? And are you doing that? Because you don't have to do that anymore. And so what would happen is we would have these amazing gatherings, but as soon as we're all at the table, it was this huge table, like 20, 30 people. It was awesome. I loved it. But I was so uncomfortable in my skin, so disconnected, and just feeling so unsafe with who I was, that if the conversation came towards me and like someone asked me a question and I was like the center of the attention, it was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say, because I don't even know how to say it to myself. And what would end up happening is I would start to cry. I finally would start to feel, but it was like a boiling pot. It was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, and now I'm terrified. I'm terrified to speak up. And so I would go down to my bathroom in the basement, and I would lock the door, and I would stay in there for hours and just let myself cry. And I couldn't even tell you what I was crying about, because it was like at least a year worth of stuff, worth of pain as a child, that I would just do that. And okay, a few hours have passed, let out all my tears, pull myself together, on with life. And don't worry, like I had a family member support me through it. I'm just sharing this because there are so many people who are hiding who they truly are, still living with emotional pain. And what will happen, guys, if we do not deal with our emotional pain, it will come up. It will have an endpoint. It can only stay in your body for so long. For me, it turned into gut health issues, where fast forward 10, 15 years from then, I was in my mid-20s, early 20s, where I couldn't get out of bed for months. And I was in much more pain than I even realized. And it really was an opportunity for me to meet myself. I don't know what's going on with my necklace here. Doesn't matter. But I send love to my younger self. I send love to my younger self because she wasn't aware. She was just getting by. And I know a lot of you are just trying to get by. If I just get through that next thing, I'll be good. And then I can look after myself. And I'm saying, no, you need to look after yourself. I don't want it to turn into chronic pain or illness or disease. Because for me, it was starting to turn into IBS and a whole bunch of other issues. And the body is always speaking to you. Your body is always speaking to you. So if you have pain somewhere, pay attention to it. If you have an emotional anxiety or depression or fear coming up, listen to it. Pay attention to how you wake up. Pay attention to your thoughts when you're just driving in your car. Your body is always talking to you. And for me, I just kept getting through life, going through life. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. And for me, in my, like I was saying, in my mid-20s, it finally all caught up to me. And at some point, it's going to catch up to you. And you have the opportunity to listen today. 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 You are here to come out of hiding. You are here to connect back to yourself. Someone else might have taken that from you, but you get to give it back to you. It is the greatest gift that I gave myself, was to meet me in my pain, in my darkest, in my loneliest time of my life. Because it has led me here, where I can honestly say, today, I love myself. I love my body. I love what I'm doing. I love my life. I love who I am before anything else, before anything physical or my business or anything. But it has taken work to get here, in the sense of, it's not an overnight thing. We're used to, like Amazon Prime, we're primed for this instant gratification. And healing, we're unlayering, we are decoding, we are learning a new way to connect with ourselves. And so I just wanted to ask you, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of if you saw the real you? What are you afraid of if someone else saw the real you? Are you willing to meet yourself? Because the only way out is through, guys. You got to go through. You got to meet your pain. The greatest thing that I've given myself is to feel safe within myself, to feel safe within my skin, to know that I belong no matter what room I'm in, no matter what someone else thinks of me. I belong. You belong. You have a place in this world. You do not have to stay small. You do not have to stay small in order to make someone else comfortable, in order to please someone else. This is your journey, and I want you to expand. We are here to expand beyond any limitation that was taught to us. What is your body saying to you? What is your body saying to you in this moment? It can be one thing. It can be one simple, tiniest thing. Maybe it's asking you something. Maybe you're sensing something. If you don't feel anything, open yourself up to it. If you would like guidance, if you would like support, I invite you inside the Soul Talk Method. Inside the Soul Talk Method is a sacred healing portal container that I've created because of where I come from, and because I know thousands, if not more, people need this work. And so in this container, you're going to get one-on-one support with me. You're going to get a community of other people going through it for support. You're going to get a step-by-step process. And you're going to get, every month we do this sacred healing ceremony as a group. Would you like support? If so, you can message me. Let me know that you listen to this live. Share with me what's going on. Share with me what you desire out of life. What are you craving? Are you craving just release, freedom, peace, stability, balance? Or the willingness to meet yourself and you're just, I don't know how. When I was in the depths of despair, I did not know how, but I chose to listen to my voice. This is the thing, guys, is that we can be in the depths of despair. We can be in the depths of despair, but our body is still talking to us. And so while all these insecurities were coming up and I was sick and I wasn't feeling, like I didn't know who I was, I still had this little voice within me saying, Sarah, you're made for more. This is not all there is. And so, terrified, I listened to that voice and I navigated through it. And I created this container so that you don't have to keep guessing or be scared to ask for help. You get a safe space to really recalibrate back to who you are. It's a journey to come home to who you are. You're not becoming someone else. You are becoming, but you're coming who you are. You're coming home to who you are. It's not about being anyone else. And so, I invite you inside that space. I would love to meet you, love to hear your journey. Share with me how you are. I'm excited to meet you. And remember, you do not have to hide. You are here to come out of hiding. So much more. You get to see an amazing world that I don't get to see. You get to see it. Will you discover it? Talk to you guys later.